On one of our weekly visits to our local animal control facility, a shelter employee asked us to come meet an urgent dog who was scheduled for euthanasia in just 2 hours. We met Tully, a young, sweet dog who was not only significantly pregnant, but also had a pelvic fracture that had made her pregnancy a high risk and impacted her ability to find rescue. Despite being nearly maxed out on medical cases from a financial perspective, we decided that we couldn't leave this sweet dog behind without trying. With some help from the Rosenthal Family Foundation and some quick responding fosters, Tully, now Zelda, was sprung from the shelter just hours before her deadline. After a short time resting and decompressing in her amazing foster home, Zelda's medical team decided that waiting any longer to deliver the puppies by C-section was too risky for Mama, and since she was our first priority, we cleared our schedules and got ready. C-sections always hold higher risk than natural birth, but given the severity of Zelda's pelvic fracture, we knew it was a risk we had to take. Puppies are usually a bit sedate and slower to respond during C-sections because of the anesthetic exposure, but after 10 minutes of every team member working diligently on reviving their puppy, we were prepared for the worst. At the 19-minute mark, the first puppy cry broke the tension and everyone took a huge breath of relief. Through the next 10 minutes, one by one, puppies began stirring and letting out their first cries. After all was said and done, we had a healthy, recovering mom, an emotionally exhausted vet team, 8 healthy puppies, and 1 angel puppy who unfortunately did not pull through. As Mom slowly recovered from anesthesia, we helped rotate the puppies on and off for nursing and got the family on the road back to foster mom's house. The more time wore on, the more it became clear that Zelda did not understand that these were her puppies and did not have any desire to care for them. She communicated very clearly that the puppies were so distressing to her that asking her to be a mom would have been a danger not only to the puppies, but to her as well. Zelda's foster mom, Jessie, agreed that sending the puppies with us for bottle feeding so that she could fully be there for Zelda was the best course of action. So we prepared ourselves for a few weeks of sleepless nights while we took over mom duties for Zelda. We were ready to get off this particular rescue roller coaster, but there was one more Hail Mary we wanted to explore for these puppies before we gave up. A few weeks prior, we had rescued another pup from the same shelter that Mama Zelda had come from. This other girl, Maeve, had an unnoticed pregnancy and had surprised the staff by giving birth to a single puppy overnight while on the adoption floor. Maeve and her baby girl, Margot, were thriving in foster with one of our co-founders, and Maeve had proven to be an incredible mother. We introduced her to a shirt that smelled like Zelda's puppies, and she was immediately obsessed with it. We decided to try to introduce her to the puppies and see if she was interested in going from a mommy of 1 to a mommy of 9. At first, it didn't look like she was going to adopt the newborns, but her body language was relaxed, so we ditched our plan of easing in with 1 puppy at a time and laid them all before her so she knew exactly what was being asked of her. Maeve immediately went to work rounding them up for warmth and began nursing them. Within moments, she was fully committed and began acting like these were her own babies from the start. We gave Zelda's babies their own separate apartment right next to baby Margot and watched as Maeve took on the role of mom for 8 times her original commitment with ease, happily bouncing back and forth and seeing to everyone's needs in turn. It's crazy to think that 2 throwaway dogs that people dumped at the same shelter and had never met each other took us on such a crazy roller coaster together and are now connected for life through these 8 little souls that were brought into the world by one and will be raised by another. It is important to remember that both of these dogs and all of their puppies could have easily died at the shelter, and their story would have had a very different ending. Far too many dogs are entering the shelter system each day. Please do your part by choosing to adopt a dog whenever possible and encouraging those around you to spay and neuter their pets. Thank you to the team of advocates and heroes at Chicago Animal Care and Control who have to make impossibly hard decisions each day for not giving up on Zelda, even in her 11th hour. Thank you to her foster mom, Jessie, for saying yes and then rolling with the punches. Thank you endlessly to the incredible team at Lane Veterinary Hospital in Hinsdale for helping Mama through this surgery and crying and celebrating each puppy with us. Lastly, thank you again to the Rosenthal Family Foundation for providing a grant to help us with Zelda's medical expenses. We are still fundraising to cover the remainder of our medical bills for this past week. Please consider contributing in honor of Maeve and Zelda if you can.